Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Brain Gist. Today, I want to talk about some helpful tips to help you sleep better. This is something I started doing in the last couple of videos talking about sleep and giving you essential information about sleep from the perspective of a neurologist and giving you some useful insights about sleep and how you can sleep better. So this is what I want to continue doing in my next couple of videos. So today I'm centering about on specific simple tips that you may not have thought about that could help you sleep better. But first of all, welcome back to the channel. This is Brain Gist, a channel dedicated to enlightening people about the brain and the nervous system and diseases that affect them, how to cope with them, what you need to know as a layperson. So if you enjoy the content and if these are the sort of things you like listening to or watching, you're welcome to subscribe and turn on your notification, share, leave your comments behind, and I enjoy looking at them. So what I want to address today is how do you cope with a few nights of sleeplessness? I'll start by saying that it's not all the time that you are not able to sleep well that you should resort to taking sleep aids, whatever it is, be it Lexotanil or melatonin or whichever one, or even antihistamines or Panadol night. All of these sleep aids that people have gotten used to over time to help them fall asleep. So if you use these things, there's a very high chance you become dependent on them. And sleep is a very natural process. So what should you do if you've discovered that you haven't slept well, either on a given night or let's say a set of nights back to back? It happens to virtually all of us. So what should you do to, rescue yourself in these situations? So I would start by saying that it's a normal thing for us to not sleep well on certain nights for whatever reason, be it that the temperature is not right, or you're having some pain, or there's something bothering you in your mind, or perhaps you've taken so much water and you had a pressure to pee in the night and you came back, you couldn't sleep. So one of the, sometimes I get this request from colleagues or even from patients that, okay, they haven't slept well for 2 or 3 nights. What should they do? Do they need some sleep aids or whatever? So what I say is usually looking back, you try to see if you can find the reason why you haven't slept well. So could it be because the temperature wasn't set right? Could it be because you slept too late? Could it be because you took coffee late or whatever it was? And if you can correct it, that's fine. If you can't find anything, then what do you need to do? So if you find something, you adjust and correct it. If you can't find anything, then you don't need to do anything, basically. One of the worst things you can do that a lot of people do is to extend your stay in bed. So some people who normally would wake up at about, let's say, 6:30 in the morning or 7 in the morning, but when they wake up at 7, they feel they haven't slept well in the night, their sleep was disturbed, then they extend till 9 o'clock, saying they want to get more time in bed. So that's one of the worst things you can do. So the point is, do not extend the sleep time. So the fact that you haven't slept well the previous night doesn't mean anything. That's a normal thing, but do not dress it up as a big problem and do not extend your time in bed. So just wake up once it's time to wake up and get on with your day. If you can't, if you think you'll be too tired or whatever, that you can get some coffee so long as it's not so late and carry on, because actually it's an advantage. You heard it from me. Actually, I'm not making any mistake. I mean every single word I've said. Do not extend. It's actually an advantage if you haven't slept well the previous night, because the brain keeps a record that you haven't slept well and you have a sleep debt. And then you're going to actually be able to use that. So let's say normally over the night from 11 to 6 is your sleep time. That's about 7 hours. But this particular night, you've only slept 5 hours. It means you have a debt of 2 hours. So that's an advantage, because it means that the following night, that sleep debt is going to increase what we call the sleep pressure, and it's going to improve your likelihood of falling asleep. and sleeping better the next night. And let's even assume that it continues and you have 2 or 3 nights successively of not sleeping well. It's not a big deal. So you've accumulated, let's say, 2 hours each night of sleep debt. That's 6 hours of sleep debt. So at a fortnight, definitely, if you don't allow other factors to kick in, that is going to increase the sleep pressure. You're going to get some of the most profound sleep you've ever gotten, some of the deepest form of sleep and most refreshing forms of sleep you've ever gotten. I'll tell you my own personal story. Recently, a couple of months ago, I traveled to Singapore with family, and my wife has always thought that I am someone who's a very good sleeper and I never have problems with sleep, but that's not true. Everyone can potentially have something bothering them because of the time difference between here and Singapore, about 4 hours. They are 4 hours ahead. The first night was okay, but then for 3 or 4 consecutive nights, I struggled, couldn't fall asleep, just couldn't fall asleep. But then I didn't see it as a big deal. So where the problem comes, if you watch my previous videos, is when you allow what we call the perpetuating factors, and that's the cognitive process. When you start to allow your brain to think you've got a big problem, a big time sleeping, or you're different from other people, you're a poor sleeper, and you start to dress it up as a big deal, start looking for what to help you sleep, and that's where the problem comes, and it begins to get magnified over time. So what did I do? I did nothing. I didn't sleep well the first night, the second night, the same thing, the third and the fourth. No worries. Whatever little sleep I got, I was ready to carry on with the day. And over these 4 days, there was so much sleep debt that had accumulated. And then by the fifth night, trust me, then I crashed and I had a very good sleep, and I continued to sleep well subsequently. So that's the point. So if your bedtime is 11 to 6, so even if you haven't slept well within that period of time for a few days, don't extend it. Just get out of bed. You'll have another opportunity the following day. And the brain is going to adjust again. Your sleep is going to come back into what it used to be. Sleep is very natural, guys. So it's even easier to, how would I say, it's easier to inhibit yourself from sleeping than to make yourself sleep. So you don't need to struggle to sleep. Do not make a big deal out of it. Just follow your routine. If it's 11 to 6, just stay there. And once it's time to get out of bed, get out of bed, whether you slept well or not. Naturally, the debt you accumulate over time is going to help you fall asleep, and you're going to have a regular sleep pattern. I do hope you learned something today. I'm not sure I was able to express what I wanted to say really well, but I do hope somehow you understood it. So please do share this video with friends and colleagues and family. You can never tell who you would help by sharing my videos. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.